illustrious panel, and we have about 13 minutes for questions. So, who has a question? Does anybody? Yes? Who would you like to address it to?
I'd like to ask Ann if she'd like to write a hit record.
Would I like to write a hit record? I would love a record that I write to be highly received. Absolutely, yes. And I remember when I made my first record at Hampton Callaway, and I did How Deep is the Ocean with Mike Renzi, just the two of us. I thought, my dream is someday on Top 40 radio for someone to play something this beautiful and this personal. And I really believe in the ring of truth. But I think you need the machinery of people who have a vision. And if you can galvanize them and make them believe that America deserves something better than some of the crap we hear on the radio. And yes, but I'd be interested to know what that would be. I don't know what that is.
But
I don't know.
Writing songs.
I'm writing lots of songs, and I have had some interesting things percolating. But I'd like to know that, my song that I wrote for Barbra Streisand at the same time, that record sold 11 million in records. So there's something. The Nanny, I wrote The Nanny Named Fran, a very jazzy TV That's the last jazzy TV theme song, as far as I know. And yes, that was my finest work to date, says my accountant. But no, I really, when I think about Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan, two of my heroes, they were able to reach many people because they had people and they had imaginations that could see, where do I connect with the world? And I don't think you have to pander yourself, but you have to have a lot of imagination and really be gutsy about who you are, and just don't be afraid of being successful. Being commercial does not mean you are not artistic. It doesn't have to mean that.
Because nobody's talked about that.
Yes.
Everybody's talked about coming from the heart. But in fact, all the songs that were written in the Great American Songbook were written for money.
Yeah.
They were written to be hit records.
And I think we as jazz artists really need to revise our opinion of, if it's that to do something artistic won't be commercial. I totally disagree. I've spent my whole life trying to be true to myself, and I've been fortunate to have some money here and there. Now I don't know. I don't understand this record business at all, and I have no idea. I just put out a record I believe in. I don't even know what I sold. Probably something pathetic. But I do believe, I feel very optimistic about this new year. I don't know why. And I think that part of it is building bridges. Like, I love that Betty Buckley, who's a theater actress, she got together with T-Bone and made this really cool record fusing two different worlds. And it sounds a whole... Awesome. He is a brilliant man, and the two of them came together in a fresh way. I think that this is the future of jazz, is how can we build bridges in the world and get cozy with people who may be very different. Like, I want to do a record with Yo-Yo Ma. I think that it would be really gorgeous, and I'd love to do something with Sting, and I have all these people that I think, I want to get creative with these people. And I think that that's part of what we do is inspired by friendship. Sarah Vaughan was lucky to have her best friends as a teenager be the pioneers of bebop. But we have each other, and who knows what's possible in this room, the creative spirit of we got together and got creative, and there's no stopping the creativity of the people just in this room. So I think that that's a very valid question, and I would love to make a hit record, and I plan on doing it.
Any other questions? Yes?
Yeah. Just more of an observation. I'm a bassist and work with a lot of vocalists, and some very well-known ones. But what I see now with younger vocalists makes my job and life much easier. A lot of vocalists are coming in trained, where they can tell me what key so I don't have to spend the first 5 minutes trying to figure that out. And then also coming in with well-written charts and changes. That's been very helpful. Not to respect the older ones, because when I worked with some of the old ones, they had a musical director do it for them. Some of the well-established ones, but it's just such a relief for me.
Yes, better musicianship is something we've been talking about for years, and all of us have been dealing with that. And it is. I'm glad that your job is easier now. Yes, Miss London.
Well, my name is Amy London, and I'm a Tama artist, and I've been on the scene for starting my 30th year. I've also been building and I've also been faculty at New School. I helped create the vocal department there. Speaking of charts and keys, that's the
Are
first
you
thing
going to
we
ask a
teach.
question? Are you asking a question?
I'm putting out a question in reference to what Rene was talking about and everybody. It's an observation, it's an experience that I'm having with my young students. And I just want to see what people have to say about this. And also in conjunction with what you said, I have a lot of, well, I keep getting a year older and they keep staying 18 years old, okay? I walk in every fall, they're still 18, the new batch is 18, I'm a year older. And we have a lot of kids now that are kind of like songbook haters, okay? And they want to be...
American Songbook haters.
Yeah, they want to be the next two-chord jam star.
Beatbox.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
And it's a challenge to get them to fall in love with the songbook, because the songbook, as we all know, is gorgeous, comes from all this great stuff, and of course, it needs to move forward. Like you were saying, Rene, we can't just do the songbook, we need to write. We need to do new music. So what I tell them on the first day is like, I happen to know a lot about the songbook, that's my area of expertise. However, don't get me wrong, I want you guys to write. Please write. Write new songs, but learn this stuff. Learn what Billy Strayhorn composed. Learn what Cole Porter, what lyrics, what a poet he was. Learn this stuff so that your writing can grow and increase and get better. So this is kind of a situation. If anybody wants to comment on this, any helpful tips, because I'm trying to show them the great beauty that came before, but encourage them to write new stuff based on education and learning and new challenges, as opposed to just
I'd like to comment on that.
Yeah.
I'll be brief, but because of the way our culture is right now with the young students, and the teachers are all having conversations about the 18-year-olds right now, because the attention span is so short. And one thing I did the other day was I had a student who I knew was talented, but I couldn't get her to focus, and I actually brought her to my house, and I sat her on my couch, and I played the Nancy Wilson Cannonball Adderley record all the way through. And she said that she had never in her entire life listened to an entire record, a CD, all the way through.
That's a very important
Oh
point.
my God.
Okay.
Albums are coming back, though. My niece that just started going to college in New Orleans
You mean
has a turntable.
You're talking
But her,
about
so her,
Yeah, mine is
turntable.
her hero is Amy Winehouse, but then after she
Right.
heard Nancy Wilson. So it's just turning people on,
Right.
I think, but it takes a little extra, you got to be clever about it now, because to get people's attention.
And to that effect, I bring back the listening party.
Thank you.
Bring some wine, hang out, everybody listen
These are
to some
kids.
great records. I know, seriously. But no, I mean, or whatever. No, but just like have a musical show and tell. You bring them some great stuff. Have them bring you, because you need to know what they like too.
Actually, YouTube has been a revelation.
Yes.
Another thing that you can
Alan, you have a...
Yes, Alan.
Yeah,
You had your hand up.
I know, but
I,
I'm scared.
we have about 4 minutes for any other questions, but what were you going to offer?
When I was growing up, and I'm sure a number of you are in the same age bracket that I am, there was no video, there was no texting or whatever. If you had to do something in your house, you were told to go to your room and read a book. Remember those days? In turn, it was called, there was a whole lineage of people that we read and we grew up on. They were called men of letters at the time. And imagination was rife, and you gleaned from books that you read from the classics and whatever. And the children now, the imagination is so rapid that they really don't have time to ferment with anything. They don't have time to ferment. They don't have time to dream. They don't have time to look at that poster of your favorite star that you look at on, or this is that record, and play it back and forth. For those who were instrumentalists, you learned, you didn't have YouTube, whatever. If you wanted to learn a riff, you just had to put the record back and put the record back again. And in turn, that helped you develop a muscle inside of you that I feel is strongly lacking in the children of today. Now, on that note, getting back to tying it in with the American Songbook, from the Cole Porters and the Van Usens and the song, and those men and women who wrote those songs, they came from a background that we did, where they had to read and imagine things beyond the hill and the mountain and the village that they lived in. There was no such thing as internet or Google. They couldn't superimpose what something looked like. They'd imagine it through books. In turn, they extrapolated from books And from those songs, those images, they knew how to walk along the beach. You know, you look at Stardust, you know how to kiss the girl on the cheek, you know, to hold hands. Moonlight Becomes You, and that. It wasn't just a girl in a thong shaking on MTV. Is it MTV anymore?
No, well,
Yeah, whatever made you myself. So in turn, yes, these children are not adept, and they do not have the lineage or the vivacious we have with the American song. But it is our duty to force them.
Can I just add one sentence?
All right.
Sing with them.
right.
Let us sing with them.
Everybody, we're gonna have to wind it up here.
And Renee had something too.
We're gonna have to wind it up. Renee, I'm gonna give you 1 minute, and then you're gonna have to catch this illustrious group out in the hallway and ask them your questions. I knew that we would run out of time. I'm trying to police it as best I can.
You did very well, Roseanna.
What do you have to say?
Take the lyrics from these Great American Songbook, deconstruct it, put the lyrics on the board, if you still use that, and ask them to compose a melody for that. To completely redo it and talk about what the lyrics mean. Where's the punch, the emotional punch of the song, the emotional punch in each line. That helps a singer look at it and approach it from the way the original composer and lyricist meant it to be.
And it could be a vocalese.
Could be.
It could be a vocalese. All right, thank